Do you want to build a snowman? Do you want to come out and play? This is what Tsarina Katarin might mockingly say to all the chaos at her doorstep. She may turn them into snowmen, and trust me, you don't want to come out and play. Before we begin, make sure you like and subscribe. Now, let's get on to the video. Tsarina Katarin is an absolute monster of an ice spellcaster, and has the special ability of snowballing both literally and figuratively. For her Lord effects, she has a corruption of -6 in the local province that she's in. For upkeep, she has a -50% upkeep for Ice Guard units, that's both the anti-infantry and the anti-large, though I prefer the anti-large over the anti-infantry one. And she has a miscast base chance of -50%. For faction effects, she gets 10 devotion for every Frost Maiden hero action, plus 6 control, plus 3 hero recruit rank for Frost Maidens, and -2 turns for Ice Court training duration. Her main focus is Ice Guards and lots of Frost Maiden. She's also really good on higher difficulties because she can reduce the corruption, thus increasing better control, plus the extra +6 control she gets as a faction effect makes the negative control you get from very hard and legendary absolutely negotiable. You start off fairly weak with only basic Kossar units to be able to recruit. They're mediocre and kind of expensive for what you get, but they're an old reliable when you have nothing else to recruit. You also start off with Kislev as a provincial capital that immediately has access to an edict. The special cities like Kislev and Prague are essential for your economic and military recruiting power, as they provide so many bonuses with their buildings. Your first enemy, a minor Norscan faction, is mostly a pushover and won't take long to defeat. I recommend recruiting Kossars with Katarin, while a second army in Kislev recruits even more, so you can have a full stack quickly to eventually deal with Azhag, and you will have to deal with him. Once Azhag has been dealt with, you'll be forced to deal with Throt. He can be a rough enemy to face, and I recommend using a camp stance around Skaven to avoid ambushes. With a little finesse and maybe some second lord ambush bait, you'll be able to take out Throt and lay siege to help it. Throt being killed off is a stepping point for the campaign because it can go so many directions by this point. Throg might immediately declare war if he's not too busy with Kostalton, the minor Norscan faction to the east, or the Chaos Dwarves might be interested in a fight. If any of these happen, you'll need to focus on those and stay in the north. If these don't happen, I recommend marching south to take on Dryksha, Scrag, and Vlad for some extra land and a southern border buffer. You'll also unlock more trade routes with like the dwarves and a bunch of other Cathaian factions. If you upgrade your trade goods, they give even extra income bonuses from your income buildings, and you'll be raking in gold exponentially. Once you have either of these threats handled or pushed back, your settlement should start becoming really developed, and you'll have access to a lot of really good units. I recommend an Ice Guard stack for Katarin, as the 50% upkeep reduction will cover for the cost of another army. When you win the political game and Confederate Kostalton, the campaign does become extremely easy and cheesy, as you're making so much money and have so much power that you can roll over all of chaos. I only played about 10 turns after the short victory, as it was getting too easy, and it was time to move on to Kostalton. It's not that the campaign was boring, because Katarin herself is absolutely amazing as a Lord of Ice spellcaster. With her slows, direct damage abilities, and also buffing her front line, she could be absolutely amazing. Oh, plus, like all the other lords for Kislev, she can be on a bear. So that's something to account for. Overall, Katarin has so much snowball potential if you play her well. You'll become such a monster of an empire, and you'll be the fear of all Chaos worshippers. With Warhammer's 3 theme being focused on the fight against Chaos, Katarin is the poster child of that fight. This is one of my favorite campaigns and is a prime example of why Kislev is my favorite race to play in Warhammer 3. The only downside is that once the Confederation happens, it might become a little too easy, so I recommend an early in-game scenario for this one. If you're going to pick a specific in-game scenario, I recommend Chaos Dwarves, because with the tech tree with Kislev and a lot of other bonuses they get from like Lord effects and a couple other things, they get a lot of bonuses against Chaos factions, Norscan factions, and Chaos Dwarves. So Chaos Dwarves would be the end game to go. What do you think of Katarin? Have you played her before? Make sure to like and subscribe the video. And as always, come be my neighbor.